My name is Eady, but my friends call me Drea, and my story is probably typical to a lot of people's. I was raised in a house with two parents who had a relationship with Christ, who have been born again, and as a child, when I was 5 years old, I was always in church, always surrounded by faith-based households. And when I was 5, I dedicated my life to the Lord. And though at that point I did enter in from death to life, I still didn't probably quite understand the fullness of what it meant for Jesus to be the Lord of my life and not just my Savior. So when I was 5, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior and continued to live my life just as a kid growing up. And I always wanted to do what was right, but I didn't because, well, that's just life as a kid. And my parents were always encouraged me in my walk with the Lord, and I ended up going to a Christian school through the end of my middle school years and all of high school, which was really great for character development. I really think that had a lot to do with the woman that I am today. But after I graduated high school, it was actually the month after I turned 18. I spent some time just trying to fit in with everybody and do what everyone did after you graduated high school. And it just didn't feel right, didn't taste good to me. And it was one night that I actually said to the Lord, like, if I don't want what the world has to offer, then I will dedicate the rest of my life to making you the Lord of my life. And from 18 on, I am 32 now, and I have been very intentional with living my life to honor Jesus Christ as the Lord of my life. And what that means is that in every area of my life and everything I do, whether that's as a woman, as a mother, a sister, a friend, a daughter, that I would, a stranger, that I would honor the Lord. And that's not always been easy. It's not always come naturally, but I do believe that when you come into salvation and in the waters of baptism, when the old man is dead and the new man has come, that if you set your face to the Lord, that you will reflect him. And if you continue, there's a verse in the Old Testament, I'm not going to be able to think of the verse right now, but it talks about how when you face the Lord, you will reflect him as a mirror. And how that was really important in my life, that I would reflect Christ in every area that I could. So I spent the rest of my adult life through work situations and changing jobs, living different places, friendships that came and went, dating someone, getting engaged, marrying him, 3 children, trying to continue that path that the Lord would be just that, the Lord of my life in every area. And though I have never gone through some of the things that other people have, and just because someone hasn't reached such great depths as somebody else in tragedy doesn't mean that their testimony is any less. So though I haven't had necessarily crazy situations, I've gone through things in my life that thankfully, my faith in the Lord has never actually wavered. It's always been very strong and persistent. And that doesn't reflect like on me. It's not like I'm so great that I've never doubted the Lord. But if anything, it would reflect his steadfast love for me. And the things in my life I've seen of him have been so great and so amazing that it's etched this constant part of him in me that there isn't a wavering faith. I just believe he is who he says he is. And I think that's probably the greatest impact in my life to date. And I think probably for the rest of my life will be that I trust that the Lord is who he says he is. And that's just every day, day in and day out, my foundation for everything. So I think that's just, today, that's probably my greatest testimony, though I do have, every day I feel like your testimony can grow and change because we're constantly doing that. And every day there's a chance for the Lord to reveal himself more, that we would just see him reflected in all different things. We happen to be in nature today, and even in the morning, waking up and coming out and looking at the water and the sunrise and nature, and kind of just being in awe that he created all of this with his voice. You know, that this is a tangible thing that we can see, that he created in perfection, that it's beautiful. And maybe it's not the only reason my faith hasn't wavered, but nature has always been a big part of something that reflects the Lord. So that's probably my greatest testimony, is that the Lord has never failed me, and somehow that I don't question that. I just get it. And I think it's taken a lot of work and a lot of dedication, but I think anybody can be in a point where they just have such a foundation of the Lord in their life that it's not wavering. And that's pretty great when everything in our life changes all the time. Everything wavers. But to have a foundation that doesn't sets everything up for success, even in terrible situations. So if anything, I would say press in to the Lord, see what he has for you, and spend time with him and build a relationship with him to where you don't have to question if he's there, or if he's going to see you through it, or if you're going to see the end of a situation, but instead you can approach it with confidence in a relationship with someone who you trust 100%, and who will carry you through any situation, and that no matter what, you'll see the end of a situation because he's with you always.